Oh my God, that worked. Okay, I'm streaming on mine as well, I think.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our live. This one's on my channel, so be kind to me. I'm nervous and I don't know what I'm doing. Well,
I
sort
think, Hannah, I think I streamed it to my channel now too as well, although you are the host. I think it's on my channel, I think.
yeah,
Everyone can kind of tell me.
everything seems to be a bit different since our last live. So we've got a few new settings, but yeah, welcome everybody. This is a subject we could probably do a 10-hour live on, I think. I don't think we could even begin to cover all the subjects that me and Rebecca have been discussing for, I'd say, a year now, but certainly in the last sort of 3 months, it's been a really big topic, a topic affecting all of us, a topic affecting viewers, consumers, creators, and certainly the sort of content we do, I think, particularly is affecting us. And it's made us question our future and how we move forward. And do we need to change things? And what are your thoughts? So we thought the best way to really talk about this was to open it up to all of you and give you time to give us your views, basically, and we can tell you our concerns, as many as we can squish in, because this is just an hour and Rebecca does have a really important appointment, so we will have to stick to that 1 hour. But we could always do another one if there's a million questions, because this might be fun. Yeah, maybe we will.
And yeah, we wanted to get your input, you guys, too. And thank you for hosting this, Hannah. I appreciate it. Hannah and I have our water cooler talks. Is that an expression in Britain, too? Water cooler talks? Because that's an expression in America. It means you're chatting at work, because the water cooler where you chat. In America, everyone's, I think, familiar with that expression. And so Hannah and I are work associates, really, I mean? But we're working in our own spaces, but we get together and we talk. And this is kind of something that we talk about a lot because, I go to YouTube a lot because I live in Los Angeles, and they've actually identified this as a viable trend that YouTube has identified too, which is kind of anger baiting and de-influencing, because de-influencing does come along with what Hannah and I are talking about today. So that's all part of it, So I guess we can start by asking you guys, does anyone have their thoughts on, has everyone out there noticed this negativity? And the negativity comes in so many forms, right, Hannah? It is attacks on creators, attacks on consumerism, attacks on brands. There's certain brands that seem to have a target on them. Marc Jacobs, Louis Vuitton Beauty, things like that. And creators attacking the space themselves as well. Creators prone to doing de-influencing, creators saying that nobody should be buying stuff, et cetera, et cetera. The negativity in general kind of as a microcosm and reflects a lot of negativity that we're going through in the world right now. And we're not going to talk politics here, but all of that negativity kind of comes down and hits everything. So I guess Hannah and I want to start by asking everyone, have you guys noticed this? I'm sure you have.
And also these type of videos do very well, and I think that's something that's changing because it's popular to be negative, unfortunately. And like if I ever have a negative title on one of my thumbnails, it's genuinely because I've had a negative experience. It's never I change it to that after I've done it. It's not like I plan the thumbnail in advance saying this is a disaster, then film it, if you know what I mean. So sometimes I might do something expecting it to be fabulous, especially if it's a favorite brand, and if it goes really badly, and it really does, I will put it on the thumbnail, what a disaster. And I can guarantee you I get better fast clicks on that video. And it's because everyone wants to tune into, don't buy this, it's terrible, I'm skipping all of these, they're rubbish. Whereas if I know videos do well if you're trusted and you're saying buy these, they're my favorites, they do, but not quite as well as when you say it's a disaster. And the other thing worth noting is that YouTube actually has this thing in YouTube Studio where they ask you if you can click on something where you put in multiple thumbnails. I don't know if you've tried that, Rebecca. I can't be
A/B testing. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they'll test different thumbnails and tell you which ones get the best feedback. And they were encouraging you to go down the clickbaity title. So if you see a lot of people doing that, it's not necessarily because they want to. YouTube is very much pushing them to do it because that's what gets the clicks. And clickbait is fine as long as it's, in my book, real, rather than drawing someone in if it's not really a disaster or whatever you're saying. But sometimes I'm finding creators that I've enjoyed watching myself are starting to go down such a don't buy negative route that I don't think the channels are the same as they were before. And that's something that's made us question our channel and our future and what people want from us. Because every time we've talked so many times about buying less, and reviewing less. And every time we've tried to do it, me and Rebecca talk about it endlessly, we end up still buying it, because how can we compare this blush from Dior, in my case, certainly Dior is one of the big ones I buy, to the last release if I didn't buy the last release? How can I do that? Because I keep everything I buy for exactly that reason. So does Rebecca. We've got these vaults now full of makeup where we do the comparisons, and we can do that for you, but we can only do it because we've bought it and tested it.
But we dare not show it. We dare not show declutters. We dare not show how we store our products anymore like we used to be able to, because people attack us, right, Hannah? Overconsumption. You have a shopping problem. What? But you know, and Olivia, there's a comment up in the comments there too. Olivia's like, how much of this is outrage and how much of it is just everything's too expensive and people are sick of it? Did I summarize your comment right, Olivia? And I see that point too. People are always also just like $75 for a, how much is a Tom Ford pellet now? 190, 95? Oh yeah, there's Olivia's comment. Thank you, Hannah. And I see we had a comment too about
demographics. I think that's a good point from Elizabeth. But I think certainly other platforms like TikTok very much are bringing this. This is where so much of it comes from. They thrive on that, yeah. And everyone, all the views have gone to TikTok, all the followers have gone to TikTok, everything's down on YouTube. How do we get YouTube to work? Do we follow TikTok? And I just don't, no matter how much I think about that, I don't want to do my job if I go down that route, in all honesty. And I know you don't want to either, Rebecca, but it could be, that could be a part. I mean, certainly the worst negativity we get on our channel is usually not from people we know. It's going to be from people just clicking on the video because it's a subject that they want to jump in on and criticize on. But some of those comments are getting harder and harder to tolerate. I'm sure a lot of people have seen them, and you know, we try to laugh about them, don't we? We send them to each other and say, look at this shocker I got today. And we try to make light of it. It's the only way.
And Hannah, you and I were talking about those comments too that say, how did you do this? Like, Hannah, I'm going to bring this up. Hannah, yeah, you know, Hannah had to purchase, and then, that wasn't getting here. And then it was released in the UK. I'm summarizing your experience, Hannah, putting words in your mouth. I'm sorry. Then you had to order there, but then they finally got the shade. And it's like, because we're just trying to do our job. And then somebody was like, that's overconsumption. That's too much buying. And it's like, no, I'm just trying to do my job.
I know, like the Marc Jacobs one was really difficult because I had to, like, I always get my reviews out fast because everyone wants them out. Everyone who knows me wants them fast because they want to quickly purchase. And with Marc Jacobs selling out in seconds, everyone wants those videos up fast. And when I went to get it, I couldn't get my bronzer shade. So I was on holiday, so I was trying to think fast. And I just thought, I'll just go for a darker shade so I can review the formula. That's the best I can manage. I order it. And then I come home and it's at Selfridges, available for next day delivery. My other order hasn't even arrived. So I quickly order my correct shade. And I pointed out in my video that I thought that the whole thing was a bit of a mess because Selfridges didn't have the eyeshadow shades I wanted. The next day they did. So I ended up placing a second order. So my Marc Jacobs review has sort of gone over. Even yesterday I did another one for an eyeshadow on my shorts reels because it's taken me so long to get my hands on everything. But somebody had a go at me for buying that bronzer, saying I wasn't being kind to the brand in that case because I shouldn't be buying it if I don't want it.
All of a sudden, their negativity, they're saving the brand. All of a sudden, they're you know, and that's the funny thing. It's this tribal thing, Hannah. So all of a sudden, all the dogs then the dogs are barking at you. It's like wherever you throw the steak, the dog, you know what I mean? So now they're protecting the brand. You were being unfair to the brand. But that same person was probably in another video saying that the brand is charging too much and thinks they're this when they're not and all that sort of stuff. All the dogs run wherever the steak is thrown.
And in that video, I said I'd send it back. And I can honestly say, since I started my job, I've sent one thing back once. And mostly in the UK, nothing can be sent back anyway. We don't have that option.
Right, you don't.
I don't buy products, swatch them and send them back. That's not possible in the UK. So to say that to me, that I shouldn't send it back to Marc Jacobs when I've just spent about £400, which was double what I wanted to, so I could get a fast review out. And you think, oh my goodness, is there anything you can do right here?
There's that, and you know, and it comes down to, I saw a comment from Michelle Bernstein and from Lisa F in comments scrolling here. This is our job. This is what we need to do. The whole idea of being a beauty reviewer, I think also Hannah is getting muddled with people who are doing this as a vanity project or a hobby channel. Like, look at, I like this kind of blushes, so I'm going to buy them. If Hannah and I are doing a job, the whole idea actually would be to save you money anyway. But I think,
Exactly.
unfortunately, that's getting muddied with a lot of, and it does come down to age, like the audience is saying here. A lot of younger creators who are like, I love this blush, use my affiliate code. And so therefore people then think that we have impure reasons for suggesting products, as if affiliate codes really make us that much money. And that is where de-influencing comes in as a little bit of red dye in water that turns everything pink. So now we have people going, I think you shouldn't buy it. See, you can trust me. And Hannah knows this is my bugaboo, and everyone on my channel knows this is my bugaboo, that I think that is manipulative as well. So if I am saying you guys can trust me because I hate Marc Jacobs, I don't hate Marc Jacobs. By the way, I love that makeup, but let me just pretend. If I'm saying, see, you can trust me because I'm telling you not to buy it, I'm also manipulating you.
But
I think
also,
that is, as you know,
how can you say not to buy something if you don't regularly test the brand anyway? That's a key one, because that's becoming an issue. I think channels are changing, people's choices are changing because of financial issues. You know, obviously the cost of living is horrendous and everyone has to think carefully about their purchases. The views on YouTube are down. You're making less money on YouTube and it's costing a lot of money to buy it as a creator. Probably I always think, well, let me just get less for each launch. I'm trying to do that. And sometimes me and Rebecca, we haven't done it for a while actually, but we try
we
and
haven't,
split
but we split. This is what brought us together,
in
joining
the
a
beginning.
union
Yeah.
to start with, Hannah, because we started this around the outrage for the Louis Vuitton release. Remember that?
Yeah.
And
Because
Hannah
we
and I
wanted
said, should we do this? Should we not? Hey, let's split it up. So it's actually this outrage and this craziness that made us start joining forces in the first place, Hannah, really. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah. But it's still become almost impossible to still not get the majority when I get different shades to suit my skin tone. You get one suit. I mean, the only thing I don't do is get the shades that really wouldn't work for me, which I might have done more in the past because I know you're doing it. But I mean, the problem is if we didn't do it, but then I still do my favorites, these are the best blushes of the year, and I haven't tried any. You know,
How can,
that
and
I
how
don't
long does
understand
that
why.
last? And how
Yeah.
long does that last? This is a point I make to Hannah all the time. So if a creator says, I'm not going to buy this release because I hated last season. Okay. In 3 seasons, where does that leave you? I'm not buying this release because I hated 3 seasons ago. Your point of reference, it's short-sighted of the creator because your point of reference is going to go stale. Does that make sense to the chat? You know what I'm saying? I can't. And after a while, it becomes a parody. So, and I say this to Hannah all the time, I'm a broken record. I cannot be a travel reviewer who refuses to travel, a restaurant reviewer who won't try any restaurants and just cooks at home. How can I be a beauty reviewer if I don't buy beauty to review? Then I shouldn't be a beauty reviewer. And then to have the audience decide that Hannah and I are hoarders when we're just trying to do a job, you know? And I mean, Tracy is saying that she picks who she listens to, and I hear that too. And I think that's what YouTube is about. Michelle said that up earlier in the comments too. I think that was you, Michelle B. That this is why we use long form. There's trust in long form. It's not about swatches. So that's what Hannah and I are here for in long form. Like
Somebody just said having
I always,
issues with the live
go
there.
ahead,
Did
go
you
ahead.
see that?
Go ahead, Hannah.
So,
You were saying, go ahead. Oh,
no,
are
someone's
there issues with the live? Oh no.
the
The
only
live.
problem that could happen is literally we are in the biggest heat wave in the existence of my country, and I'm sitting here melting, and my equipment, everything is everything's melting. The whole country is melting. So we've been warned power outages and internet might go funny, and trust me, everything's been funny. So if there
Because
is a problem,
you guys aren't set up to handle this kind of heat.
someone said the live keeps cutting off. I mean, if you're in the UK watching it, you might have wires melting as well. that's a
Is anybody
very
watching from my channel? The only reason I asked that is I stuck it on my channel too, and I wondered if it worked. So, yeah, in order to be objective, Elizabeth says you need to be able to open new products as a reviewer. Yeah, you know, it's funny. Elizabeth says that, and to me, that's common sense. Like, I'm going to go to Hannah or I'm going to go to me to see if I should buy. And, you know, it's like, Hannah, I don't know if you had this, but with the Violette FR blushes that just came out, do you know how many questions I got comparing it to other formulas? So, because people they're not able to touch it or they're not able to get to a store. What if I hadn't bought any other? How
I
am
know.
I doing my job or a viable reviewer if I can't give you, oh, it does work. Thank you, Mina. I can't give you any sort of feedback. Then how am I any help? Hi, Corin. Oh, whether it's pricing, PR, influencing, or what would it be and why? Oh, I love this. You're such a great monitor here, Corin.
Well
Thank
done, Corin. This is my son who started helping me on my channel, everyone.
That is a great, and you know, he's made such a great list of important things there, Corin. Pricing, PR, influencer code, because you know, you bring up PR too, which is a part of our job, but somehow Hannah and I get jealousy about it. If I were a dental hygienist and I got toothpaste for free because Crest or Colgate was trying to woo me, nobody would be like, "You're a hoarder of toothpaste," because it's not sexy. You know what I mean? So PR culture does figure into it.
Oh, it definitely does.
Kristen says, I align similar likes with and use as a starting place to see if I might like the formula and the payoff. Yeah, value and seek creator. So Kristen is looking for that trust in forming a bond with the creator.
There we are. Hi, Corin. I wish more brands would bring out travel or sample sizes. Oh, so do I. That would make my days. That would make everything better. We could have smaller beauty rooms and we could spend a quarter, but it would all, you know, as creators, it would save us a fortune. And as consumers, for you, how good would it be? Because how long does a bronzing stick last if you're somebody who buys 4 or 5 different bronzing sticks? Because let's face it, we're not alone in our collections. I know you might not have the sort of crazy ones we've got, but lots of people like different ones, like variety, like trying out new formulas. So if we could all get those tiny stick size, or not necessarily stick size, but you know what I mean, mini versions of everything.
God bless Benefit. They always do minis. I'm like, thank you. Because we don't want to overspend, you guys. But you know, and I always use the thing of like, if I had a bakery, I've got to buy flour, I've got to buy water, I've got to buy sugar. If the prices of flour go up, I've got to spend more on flour. I mean, you know, no one's going to say I'm hoarding or showing off my sugar collection. But for some reason with makeup, it's an enviable position to have all these beautiful trinkets. So it makes us a bit of a target. And we're on display with these beautiful trinkets that we have. You know?
One person, I think it must have been a troll, they commented on literally about 4 or 5 of my Dior videos in 24 hours. And it was, I'm buying too much, I should buy less, I'm promoting overconsumption. And Dior is the only brand in the world that I buy every shade of because I can get them fast. I'm fairly committed to being a full review for Dior. And I love the brand. It's very real. You know, when I'm getting it, I want to take it on holiday with me as well. So if I'm going to invest a lot in something, I might as well make it one I enjoy. So when I buy every color, that's not for me. That's not for my holiday or my collection. It's so I can show you all the shades. And I don't do it with every collection. But to have comments like that when I do it, because trust me, when it comes through how much it's going to cost me, it's a scary, scary week, because you've got to think, my video will not cover the cost of that purchase. No way will I. I have to grow my channel 10 times over to cover the cost. I have to hope that maybe there's some purchases. But what if I hate it as well? What if I've said this is like, I recently bought every shade of the Dior highlighter, and I ended up telling you it wasn't really that great, in my opinion. So I'm probably getting 0 sales and I'm only relying on views. So then to get someone saying, why did you buy all of them? I think, do you know how much that stressed me out?
It totally stressed. You know, and Ms. B Noodle brings up something interesting too. She just said in the comments, it's kind of pure sexism. And in a funny way it is. And I'm not going to get on that soapbox, but I do agree. And it's women generally attacking women, which is odd. And I always say that, you know, the patriarchy is fully working when we're doing it to ourselves. And there is a lot of that. So, oh, Missy needed all the lipsticks, did she? So that is part of it. But it's women attacking other women. And that's weird too. Do you know what I mean? This isn't even men coming into the space saying, you know, they have no problem buying an extra golf club, but all of a sudden you're like, you're wasteful because you bought 2 blush. And so it's also that kind of inner monologue that attacks us and then attacks the creators. It's interesting. It's really, really, really interesting. And jealousy about PR, absolutely.
I don't get much PR, to be honest, but when I do, I'd much rather it be tiny size, because I'll never get through it. And I would, from storing it point of view, it would make my life, if it was about a quarter of the size. I mean, brands could learn from that too. They could save money by having minis to send out PR. They could send out more PR. We could get more reviews out. Because there's certain things we just can't, like I couldn't get all 3 of the Chanel blushes this time round, £53, and there were just so many other things coming out in that month. I had the Marc Jacobs that month, and what else did we? I can't even remember. Let's not even go there. But it was just, I remember in the space of 1 week, we're talking, over 1,000 easily in cost, and you just, and then Chanel comes along after. I thought, I can't at £53 a blush or something. I just can't. And then I'll get comments, why didn't you get that one? And you can't win. You just have to do your very best.
And I get people who really understand PR, Hannah. I get people who understand media. I have had comments like, I wish they would have sent you PR because I want to see all the shades so I know what to buy. I get that you can't buy it all. I wish they would just send you PR. Like, and that's somebody who understands PR. The reason supposedly we're getting PR. And you guys know that I come from a magazine background where PR was not an honor. It was you did this to be nice to the brand. They were lucky if you didn't throw away the PR. They were desperate for us to please put that out. And it's just changed so much. It's changed so much. And Mimi is saying she's noticed too that women are critical and mean of each other. Internalized patriarchy. Absolutely. And politics leaking down into everything. And we're not going to talk about politics. I refuse to go there anyway. And Hannah doesn't want to, but politics coming into it.
Too fast for me to get them on the screen.
But the eat the rich mentality is also very popular right now. And we can't pretend that doesn't exist.
We should be lifting each other up, shouldn't we? That's what I really don't like about social media at the moment generally, is this trend towards negativity. And I do get why people are going for those type of videos themselves, but channels I used to enjoy, I don't anymore, because it's very much about everything being rubbish. And I want to see something that's honest, obviously, and fair enough. If it's honest, it's honest. But I want to have an escapism. I want to enjoy something. I personally don't want to tune into the negativity, but I will admit I'm curious when I see a headline saying I had a terrible experience with this thing. Oh, did they? Let's go and have a look. It does draw you in, but then you have an hour or half an hour of listening to something negative, and that does us no good mentally. And I do think that's a massive, massive issue, because so much of online things are like that. Instead of, can you draw someone in saying, and half an hour of happiness, just half an hour? Because for me, that's what the reason I even started my channel was being really unwell and turning to makeup to cheer myself up. And I literally, and art, self-care. I was doing paint. I was teaching myself to paint, and I started doing it on my face. And that's literally where this all began for me. And I started enjoying videos with people doing it, and it was the relaxing thing of watching a face go from blank canvas to finished piece, if you like. And that's what I love, like an artist, if you like. I'm not claiming to be one. It's a hobby artist, but it's the whole process, and it should be fun. And if I hate it when I have to say something negative, and I will if I have to, as people all know. And so, well, Rebecca, but I don't like it. And I also always think that the brand itself, there's an artist behind every single creation. And somebody created that. And I don't want to say this is rubbish. This is this. I understand the prices. I'm like, certainly something I'm seeing in the comments a lot today is the prices, obviously, and the packaging and the site. And can packaging be as good if they're going to keep up in the price, like the Victoria Beckham blush that came out recently? I love the product. Packaging was not great. Why couldn't it have been the normal sort of tortoiseshell, high quality luxe feel for that price? I don't know. And why can't we get smaller amounts? Totally. I mean, things like foundation. If you're someone who likes to test out lots of foundations, and I know a lot of viewers who love that, it's not just creators. A lot of viewers do like to test out the new formulas. And wouldn't it be nice to have mini pots?
But the packaging is important. Michelle had this up in the comments earlier. Michelle Bernstein Beauty had up in the comments. But if you guys are sent smaller sizes, you're not looking at packaging. And that is true. Packaging, if you think of like those Guerlain lipsticks and stuff, packaging is part of luxury beauty. So it's hard to leave it out of the conversation. And that is absolutely true. And another comment I saw fly by was that how can you leave politics out? Because politics does influence pricing and things like why can't I think of the word? If I could speak English, it would help. But bans on things coming from imports and stuff like that, embargoes and all that, do drive prices. So it does trickle down. Packaging does matter. Price does matter. Prices are influenced by politics. But like Debbie is saying in the comments, this is her safe space. This is, as you said, Hannah, it's self-care. It's our creative thing. And yes, it is influenced by the world around. But when we bring that in, tariffs, thank you, Ms. B Noodle, tariffs. I don't know what's wrong with me, but yeah, when we do bring the negative in, it is really, really hard because now we can't enjoy it, and we don't have, like Debbie says, that safe space to unwind after a long day and just, like you say, watch the blank canvas go to and enjoy. If we're screaming at each other, it just becomes more noise. It's a shame.
Pet Shop Girl just said about the cashing in. I mean, I do see, I mean, certainly, like I said, because as creators, we're buying them, we're not getting NPR. So it's the amount we're having to pay now for things. I totally agree with you. It is, and it doesn't make sense. The only thing that I ever thought was great was when Tom Ford's foundation went down from 150 to about 80. And I thought, I don't know why, but I'll just happily sit here and accept this one.
Well,
because that's crazy.
Is it cashing in? Let me push back on that for a minute. It is cashing in, but is it cashing in when you're running a business? So if I'm running that bakery that I was talking about, and I want to sell my cookies for $10 a cookie, I'm not going to get many takers. And if people buy it and say it's the best cookie they ever had, I might get a few more takers. But does the market sustain a $10 cookie? And if it doesn't, I'm going to go out of business, or I'm going to have to start charging $7 a cookie and seeing if I can get away with it, like you're saying with the Tom Ford Foundation that immediately lowered its price. So can capitalism police itself? Do you know what I'm saying, everybody? Like maybe it just polices itself. If no one's going to spend $110 on that Tom Ford Foundation, then it's going to try 80. And then if no one spends 80, what is he going to? It's not him because it's Estee Lauder, but you know what I mean? What happens then? If I cannot survive on a cookie business, if I'm going to just insist on selling them for $10,
that's really not helpful.
What?
This is my son.
Oh, thank you.
Corin helped me tidy up my beauty room the other day, and he's never really seen the true state of having, because I keep everything in one room, where I film, where I store, and I tried to organize, when you need to find that one eyeshadow and there's a million in the room, so you need to find a way of doing it, don't you? Oh my
library catalog system, absolutely. Absolutely.
Corin was a little bit overwhelmed. So trust me, we wouldn't have these if it wasn't for this job. But yeah, what was seeing before that? Was it packaging?
Well, Louisa's saying that Louis Vuitton's prices did it for her. That was just too much. But I feel, Louisa, like Louis Vuitton was making makeup for their customer who's in there to buy an $8,000 handbag and throw a lipstick in at the cashier. Do you know what? You know what I mean? I don't know that it was supposed to be for us. Capitalism and luxury makeup, maybe it hasn't gotten there yet. Maybe not. But I mean, it is cashing in, but isn't that what running a business is? If I can get away with charging $10 for a cookie I bake, I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to get away with it. But all of this becomes, we start talking about how much housing costs and how much gasoline in our car, or petrol, as you guys would say in the UK, costs, and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I mean, the market is going to sustain what can't it police itself? It did in the Tom Ford.
Badly affected, mustn't they?
What's
but
that?
Then when a brand, their sales must be getting affected by what they're doing. But at the same time, when a brand like Victoria Beckham uses the same price on a product that's a quarter the size of the previous one, and they reduce the packaging, I struggle to understand that one. Like, I'm a big fan of Victoria Beckham and I'm a big fan of that product, but I just can't wrap my head around that one because, and I don't get that. Like, if you're going to come out with something that's even more fancy, and that, say the packaging is sort of diamond encrusted, it's going to price a lot of people out, but at least it's because it's got diamonds on it. If it's plastic, I did struggle with that. Because
but the profit margin says shrinkflation is everywhere. I'm getting less potato chips in my bag too.
Oh yeah, everything is like it, isn't it? Everything. It is everywhere. And it's making people mad. But I think why we don't like it on our videos is that what we've said about it being very much escapism. And whilst beauty might be part of this, everything is part of it. The whole world is suffering from it. And for me, sitting down and putting makeup on is when I forget about it. And that's a big issue. And I think so many of my viewers and yours, Rebecca, come for exactly that. They don't want in the comment section to say something and then be attacked. Do you know, I just remembered as I'm saying that somebody can't be at this live, and they've sent me something they want to read out, which is they were attacked in my comment section recently, and they said to me they've never had an attack before, and it's really put them off commenting. So I need to find it now. Why didn't I get this?
Was that the person who said, Hannah, that we discussed? Like, they count on us. They enjoy luxury beauty. They want to comment. They want to ask questions. But if they're going to be attacked, now they feel bad, and they came here to see a review of a product they want to buy, and now they feel unsafe in the space.
Yeah, and they feel they can't even admit to getting it, which is dreadful, really.
And because this is their space.
Yeah.
And now they're being,
I had not faced outrage of overconsumption until the recent comment was made. Perhaps in that way, I've been fortunate. I tried to curate what I buy based on a combination of what I think my audience may be interested in. This is a creator who does it more as a hobby at the moment on Instagram, and also what I can reasonably try to use. That said, I recognize I buy more than a single person could use, which is why I destash and give away. I never sell products I've purchased. The people I give them to, I share with many people. It's a system that works for me. I think judgment is an unfortunate natural human phenomenon. It's the judgment that bothers me. It's the fact that some people believe it's okay to be unkind in doing so. Constructive criticism is fine. Animosity is not. And I think that's key, isn't it? For someone like that who was actually thinking of going full time when they retire, it's these things that put them off completely doing the job. Because do you want a whole day of these comments? Because I would say I can ignore 90% of them, maybe even 95. It's just the odd one. It might hit you on a bad day.
If it's a character assessment, I have had people say that I have no integrity because I like the Victoria Beckham Beauty blush. It's like that's what ends up getting me. If people want to debate, like somebody in comments said, they like hearing a negative review if there's a basis for it. And I agree with that. And I certainly never mind people on my channel going, Rebecca, I'm sorry, I'm out. This is too expensive. It's sure. I'm always like fair, totally fair, money saved. But when people say Corin's leaving us,
just saying goodbye. Hi, Corin.
Thank you.
It's probably a football match about to kick off.
That's what it is. Is that what a few things to do is the World Cup? Corin, just admit it. It's okay. But when we have, I think that negativity is everywhere. So if somebody is on X or Twitter or whatever we want to call it, talking about automotive stuff, they're going to go, you should see it's all negative comments. And somebody mentioned Apple Computer saying the price of RAM has gone up, and now people are attacking Apple. So we do live in that negative culture anyway. And it is hard to enjoy a blush and have escapism when all you can think is how much you spent on it. So I do agree with that. The fact that you've spent so much on a blush is taking over your enjoyment of it anyway. So I don't know if we can keep these things clean and separated, but maybe it's just the amount of toxicity that comes along with the criticism that's hard.
I agree with that. Just watch something else, because sometimes you feel that people see a video and think, oh, let's go on there just to tell them what I think of them, because I already hate them from the thumbnail. I think people literally do tune in for those reasons, and obviously that's not our audience. And when that happens, you can remove them from the channel. It's very obvious that's what they're trying to do. But
Allison asked and Allison, we appreciate how you asked it so respectfully and kindly. Allison just said up in the comments, I love you guys, but why do you feel like you have to buy every shade? So it's a good question, and let's address it. And that is, and like I said, I really appreciate the way you asked it. Was very kind, Allison. But I see what she's saying. I think generally, and Hannah, I'll let you speak to this too. As many shades as I could buy is as many shades as can be helpful to people. We can only do a formula review, and if not, and when I only buy one shade, I try to buy the darker one, because that's where shades go amiss and blushes can get away from you when they're dark, or lipsticks can go into cracks when they're dark. And I know, Hannah, you were saying earlier you tend to only do that with Dior because it's been a tradition, although the rising prices are
So
tough.
financially, I wanted, like when I first started, I did it with a couple of brands, but now financially, I just have no choice but to slim it down, and really, I only do it with Dior. But I would love to do it with every single one if it was possible. And the reason it's handy and very good for the channel is that when there's a new launch and everyone wants to know, do I need this? That's, when we do our comparisons and we can say, well, last year's pink, like for instance, when I did the Dior blushes, we had the backstage blushes recently, there was a shade that launched in that, I think it was dragon fruit, that was nearly exactly the same as the mauve that launched at Christmas. And I showed that. I mean, maybe they're not identical, but they are so similar. You don't need it if you've got the one from Christmas. I couldn't have told you that if I didn't buy both shades that launched at Christmas. And that's so. Even if I don't particularly like the warmer shades, for instance, always on me, with Dior, it's still useful for me to immediately go, this is last year's peach, this is this year's peach. And I can, and also I might notice a formula change and say, do you know what, this one builds faster. You're going to get more out from your money with this one. So it's being able to do those comparisons. And there's some things I do it with as well, like YSL quads, because I've got most of them. I try to keep up with that, even if they launch colors I really don't like. That, I mean, they do have a strong purple coming out that is so strong. I do think I'd look like a vampire. So it's literally impossible to probably do a look with it. I'd put you off the product. But on the whole, there's certain things I buy Tom Ford quite a lot. There's things I just think, do you know what? I've got all the foundations from that brand previously. I'll get this one, even if it's not the best for me. And that's why, because I'll have so many people asking. But again, that's why PR is good. Would I get all those colors in any other situations? Not a chance. But that's why we do it. And that's where our channels are probably different. And that's been our main topic really between me and Rebecca, is how sustainable is this for us? We see lots of other people not doing it anymore. Does this make us still a valuable reviewer if we don't do it? What do we do? And every time we try and bring it down, it's just becoming, it just seems, it doesn't work. So we think, oh, this won't work. And then I'll get lots of private questions asking, how does this work? Is it like last year's? And you just can't answer those questions if you don't have the product. And I feel like it's the only truly honest way to answer the questions is to buy them and test them.
Well, and the de-influencing is a trend, isn't it? The don't buy this, I didn't buy this, here's what I didn't buy. It's also kind of a trend, like everybody's wearing mini skirts, or everyone's wearing jeggings and now wide leg jeans. It's kind of also, so we're also trying to stay the course among the trends, which will burn out anyway.
I think, there's lots of channels that'll say don't buy things, lots of creators say don't buy things, but for me, these are channels that should be more, not hobby, but makeup I buy for me that I enjoy. It should be more the theme than I'm a reviewer. Me and Rebecca are makeup reviewers, and we buy things we don't particularly want to buy. And I mean, I try and stick to brands so that people come to me for brands I like, so it's less wasteful. That's something I definitely do. And I think Rebecca said the same, haven't you? If there's a brand that we think, well, just never work for us, it always disagrees with our skin, always has the wrong shades, let's just not waste our money or even have to say negative things about a brand again. Let's just
that truly doesn't help the brand. Absolutely true. I'm not going to just come on,
because it might be amazing on somebody else. And just if that continuously happens with a brand, think, oh, do you know what, let's just forget this brand, I'm not going to do it. But on the whole, it's not that I wouldn't buy them, but I just don't need them, obviously. So if I've just bought the Dior release and Charlotte Tilbury comes out with blushes, I love both brands, but I wouldn't buy both because I don't need to. Or I might just buy one shade, I mean, I have to be realistic. I like buying makeups, but not to that extent.
Absolutely. And of course I had a thought, which is now somehow gone. Direct consumer model. Yeah, that's another thing. I get a lot, and I'm sure you do too, Hannah, of people who say to me, I can't get the stuff. It's direct to consumer. Rebecca, please, can you show me the difference between this and this? And I once had a viewer in Scotland, actually, who told me that she is a single mother, and once a month she buys a luxury beauty product that she admits she can't really afford, but she looks forward to it at the end of a month. It's a treat. And she uses me to decide what to spend that money on. And that money, she admits, takes away from her family, but it gives her joy. And I felt so happy, I really did, that I was able to guide her to spend that money the right way. I don't know, I felt really good about it because it was for her mental health that she buys herself a treat once a month. One treat. And
Well,
I
I've
thought,
heard people
yeah,
saying
Hannah?
they only shop in the Sephora sale, for instance, or in the UK, we do have Sephora sale, but like Black Friday. So they watch the videos throughout the year, make a little note of everything. And that's the best way to do it, let's be honest. That's a really good way of doing it. And their budget could be tiny, but it doesn't mean they don't want that luxury item, because they are things that make you feel special. Like Dior does that for me. That's one of the reasons I chose that as one of my key brands, because it's just a brand that makes me feel special the minute I open the box, because they treat you, certainly in the UK, they package everything beautifully, they give us lovely gifts, and I don't know, it's just something about the brand. I just feel connected with the brand. There's other brands I do, I'm sure you're aware, like my obsession with Fenty. There's plenty of other brands I have obsessions with, but there's certain ones that make you happy, and if it means saving up all year round, then that's great. And that's that. We love our channels to be that. So being viewed as someone who's trying to promote or buy a new thing every week is really sort of upsetting for both of us, because that's exactly what we're not. And if anything, the fact that we are overly honest is crippling us financially. Let's be honest, because
It is.
I've saying the word honest too many times, but it's because we have to keep buying things to be able to answer the questions. I often say, "Oh, I'm not going to get that shade. I'm done with lip glosses this month. I'm done with contours. I've reviewed enough." And then another one launches. Someone says, "That's going to match your skin tone. I really want to know if it'll work for me as well. We're skin twins." What do? I go and buy it, because I think you're right. I should get it, but I was skipping it. And you're not wrong to ask me these questions. You're not wrong to ask Rebecca. But I feel that's the only way. I can't tell you that the best contour stick is Victoria Beckham's from 2 years ago, when there's been another 20 come out since. There could be other ones. In fact, I'm saying that because I literally tested a drugstore one this week, and it blew my mind, and I'm really glad I did. So that's why we have to keep doing it.
Well, and as Michelle's saying here in the comments, she can de-influence herself. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, where are we also adults too?
Thank you, by the way, for the super thanks. I'm just seeing it coming through.
Oh, where is the fact that we're all adults here? Why do I have to? And this is my joke on my channel all the time. I always say I'm not your bank manager. I'm assuming, and then I've had people say that you're encouraging people to overspend. Look, if you can't pay your rent, please do not buy this lipstick. Why do I have to say that? Aren't we adults here? Can't we, like Michelle says, de-influence ourselves? Can't an adult woman or man look at the price of a lipstick and decide whether or not they can afford it? Why is that on me? I'm assuming that we're all buying food for our children and paying our rent and our car payments. And if you're not, I suppose you have no business buying a Tom Ford foundation. But that's not my business what your bank account is.
I think another reason we get a lot of grief, though, is there's still so many people, and I see this in my environment here at home, not in the house, but where people think we just sit there and play with makeup and slap it up on YouTube because it's a nice hobby, not a job that's 7 days a week and more admin and more editing.
24 hours a day.
Yes. Yeah, literally, it is. It's crazy out. I mean, I can tell anyone watching, and this is not a pity party, but I've never done a job this hard in my life. I've worked in an office, sort of 9 to 5 jobs. I did a really gruesome job when I was younger before that in a factory. I can tell you this is much more exhausting simply because I don't clock out at 5. I wake up literally before I've even taken the dogs out to the toilet. I'm putting things out on Instagram, and that's never mind taking myself. I'm brushing my teeth. That's what it's like, isn't it? And I'm still up at like 2 a.m.
Try to go out of town. Try to go out of town. You've got to like double work to have stuff to. It's
and if you're going away, because we go away a lot because of Kadir being away, so we try and make up for it with lots of breaks, and that means constantly overloading to be like now I've got 2 videos ready because we're going away soon, and you've got to always do that as well. But I don't want to moan about my working hours, but I think what it is that people thinking do we just literally go in front of a mirror and go, oh, this is pretty, and then say our job's difficult, and then people hate us for that too. And the reality is that the best thing about our jobs is that we're doing it with something we love. And the best thing about our jobs is we're self-employed, so we can set our own hours in theory. But
we're very hard bosses on ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, terrible. Like I wouldn't even let myself have lunch without working. I think, Hannah, put your phone down, an hour off. Do not look at your phone. I get 3 mouthfuls in. Oh, I'll just check my emails. I cannot. I'm a nightmare. I'm really bad at it.
I check at 3 a.m. when I wake up. I've had people go, "Why are you answering me, Rebecca?" Because they know I'm in a different time zone. I'm like, I'm up. I'm working.
I know.
Yeah. And we're not moaning about it, you guys. But what we're saying is we work hard and we're trying to be there for our audience. And to be there for our audience means we have to slightly overconsume, and that we too are prey to prices rising. But we're not trying to tell you guys that you should, I don't know. And the
Bye,
negativity, bye, Kristen. Yeah, and we appreciate. I think also, Hannah, we would be remiss if we don't say how much we do appreciate the lovely people who follow us, even who disagree. I have so many wonderful subscribers and viewers who are like, Rebecca, I'm out on this. I don't like it. I think it looks terrible on you. I don't want to try it on me, and it's too expensive. And I'm like, totally fair. It's not that we don't want negativity, but it's
great.
It's
that's a discussion. That's a healthy discussion. Yeah. Yeah, because we're all going to have different, like me and you have different views. You don't like the Victoria Beckham Foundation, which is blasphemous in this house. It's the best foundation in the world, by the way. We're all allowed to have
but that's why we're out there doing what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm texting someone back to let them know I'm on a live.
I think that, they don't understand the business. Yeah, exactly. They don't. I think, and that's something I find hard as a creator, and I'm sure any creators would agree with this. You never feel taken seriously in your job. And I feel like for me, my husband's a doctor and I'm a YouTuber. And whenever he tells somebody that, I always sort of cringe myself because I think, oh God, what are they going to think about me? And then he'll say something like, oh, they were really impressed and they thought it was great. I was like, really? And he's like, oh yeah, I was showing the nurses in work. And I thought, oh, bless him. He's trying to big me up in work. And I'm thinking, I bet they're rolling their eyes. I'm an idiot. But maybe it's us. Maybe it's our insecurities there. But I feel it's hard to feel like we're taken seriously. And also we're sitting ducks. And like so many people say, well, you work on social media, what do you expect? I think that's one of the lines I hate the most. Because how many jobs, nobody likes to have, like if you work in a restaurant, you get bad reviews, it's dreadful. But do you go to bed and then read them again and again and again? Okay, you can because of online reviews. But then are you putting yourself out there 3 or 4 times a week to open up that possibility? And then you hit the word send. Like when I did the Patrick Tar video recently, I just literally, you hit the word upload and you think, ooh. And I'm like I remember saying to Corin, I'm nervous about today. I don't know what's coming my way. And will I regret it? Because you can't stop it once it's gone out. And are you then going to get judged and get criticism? It's that side of it's not easy.
It's not easy at all. And it's negative and it's toxic. And I think that's everywhere. Like I said, we're getting less product in our potato crisp bags. We're getting less at a restaurant. Have you noticed, guys, if you go to the same restaurant you did, that you did ages ago, have you noticed the portions are smaller? So is our Victoria Beckham blush, has higher prices and smaller blush sizes. And that does, I enjoy my restaurant less when I know that this steak kebab that I got is smaller than it was a year ago and I paid more. It doesn't, you don't enjoy eating it as much because you kind of realize that and you feel like, oh, hey. And the same with the blush. So I understand it trickles down into everything, but kindness should as well. But I guess I get the anger. I just don't get the toxicity, which is what I know I just said a minute ago too. You know what I mean? Money for nothing. We don't get our chicks for free though, Deborah. Yeah.
I find when you don't love something. I will always say when I don't love something, but like I said, I try to pick things that I'm likely not to hate purely so that my channel doesn't have that. And
yes. And what is the longevity of a channel that only hates and won't buy? Because to me, that becomes a parody channel, and I'm not attacking any channels, nor will I name any. But if you are just attacking purchasing and saying what you won't purchase and not purchasing, what is the longevity of your channel? And how is that, it becomes a parody.
But it's not a makeup reviewing channel. But if the problem, I think, with those types of comments is they affect us then, because we have people coming over to our channel saying, oh, but that's rubbish because of this, this, and this. I'm like, where did you hear that? did they test it? And if the answer is no, that's not fair, and you're forming opinions unfairly. If you've bought it and you've used it and you've had that opinion, then that's fair. If somebody's had that experience, just like I thought Victoria Beckham's foundation was amazing and Rebecca didn't, we've given honest opinions. I mean, that's exactly what we'll do. But it's when it's being said about something that you've not tried, you're assuming, or you've heard someone else say, and that's not a review channel, and it does cause us problems because those comments come our way then. As if we're lying. Like I get told, you're lying about this. Like I had this about something recently. I'm lying about something. I can't remember what it was now. I think, and that really bugs me. If you ever want to upset me, it's call me a liar, because being honest.
The character attacks, right? And Marissa's bringing up the oversaturation on YouTube, which is very, very, very true. So we do have creators battling it out, frankly, at the bottom for views. So if I can battle it out and tell you how much I hate something and it gets you to click, I'm not doing that, but you know what I'm saying? It differentiates you, and that is, it's saturated. The products and the brands are overly saturated. The reviewers are overly saturated. And so everybody's kind of dog eat dog. Everyone's attacking each other. And then if I can get you to trust me because I say I hate it, that's again my thing. I don't want to be manipulated by people. I am very much sensitive. I'm hyper vigilant for being manipulated. And that's why I always say, guys, you're being manipulated when a creator just doesn't want to spend money and is telling you that they're not because eat the rich and this is too expensive. It's like, you're not a reviewer. You just don't want to spend the money, and you want people to back you up on that.
Because that's the trend.
Because that's the trend.
That is our problem, because if that's the trend, what do we do? Because I don't see another, like the only thing I would like to do more of, which does go against the brands, is have less launches so we could do more videos of what I'm enjoying, different looks with the same palette, just things like that. What's my favorite lipstick like I need to do a video showing my favorite products for the first 6 months of the year. A lot of us creators do that video, and I haven't had time to even think about it yet. I was thinking last night, and I told myself, I'm going on holiday in a week, and I thought I'll do it on holiday. So straight away, I've already given myself that task. And it's a big task doing the write-up for a video like that. Rebecca will tell you, pulling an entire face, getting the details. And then I always do UK and US links, and Corin's helping me with that as well. But trying to get all that together and then create the thumbnail and be ready to go when I get home. And it's just, where do I get the time to do that when there's another launch and another launch and another launch? It's really like I've got about 10 different videos currently planned. They're sitting in trays in my beauty room. Some of them have been there over a year. In fact, some have been there 18 months. That's how bad it is.
Same. I feel so bad, but it's true. Deborah, has it made either of us want to branch out into reviews of other products? Well, Hannah has a vlog channel separately, so she's doing more lifestyle stuff and things, travel and stuff over there. And I do incorporate lifestyle stuff. I've done some protein powders for fun and jewelry, and you do jewelry on your channel too, I know, Hannah. And I've done shoes and clothes and bags too, but not as much. But yeah,
right. Vlogging is so much nicer. It's so much nicer. The whole process of filming and the comments and the people who are interested. I mean, you don't get the views. You've got to build up an audience. So it's tiny when you start vlogging. But I love it. I love it more. Even though my favorite thing is to sit down and do makeup, but the pressure is off. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And I think that's maybe another reason why this type of content is becoming less popular amongst creators, because it's difficult to do this. Like when there's 3 launches in a week, that's us working flat out. And I try and film the same day as I get it out. And sometimes, like with Dior, for instance, that can be like 6 swatch videos, a full hour of filming, edit them all, upload them all in one day. And I swear, I sit down about midnight. I'm like, oh my God, my brain. And then the next day, back up, Chanel's launched. And you get an email and it says something's launched. And it usually happens around midnight. And you just, and then I'm up at midnight doing the links. You just slow down. I mean, it's consumers.
Burnout is very real for both consumers and especially for creators. And when we burn out, we're not there. Do you know what I mean? So I have studied myself, you guys, as you guys know, because I've done this now about 6 years. And I used to do, 6 videos a week. And now I do 3 long forms and a short. And that is to take care of myself. I have done fragrance, you're right. But that is to take care of myself, because if not, I'll burn out. And eventually, Hannah, you'll get there too, sadly to say, because you start to realize I got to take care of me, because I am a horrible boss to myself. So I do less now, not because I've gotten lazy, not because, but I've gone like, oh, if I faint, then I'm not here to even do my job for me. You know?
No, it is real. I mean, there's that side. And like someone said, why don't I do more of things I love? I do want to do more of things I love. And I was trying to factor in, I wanted to do a monthly playing with makeup from last year. I wanted to make it a series, and I made a list of everything I do for January, and I've never got around to starting that series. I would love to, but I just never seem to get the time. And if a launch comes out, the reason I don't skip it is because I've bought all the products before, and it feels like a waste of my investment if I don't, because I've already got them sitting there so I can do the comparisons. So if something like YSL launches tomorrow with quads, I've got all the previous quads. So I need to, I don't want to waste that investment. I need to, a lot of my investments initially were not making a profit. So I have to go back and put that work in as well. So it's not just that, there's that pressure element wise as well. So I'd like to have less. It's cutting down the brands we do helps us, doesn't it? Because then if like I don't do Tarte and I don't do NARS these days. If they launch something tomorrow, I can forget it. But if I start buying everything from NARS and they launch something new, I have to get it really, because why did I buy everything before for the channel if I'm not going to read it?
Very true. Very, very, very true. Very, very true. And the audience dictates that. So I don't get as many views on my NARS videos. So I don't do as much NARS. That's not my problem. That sounds like a NARS problem to me. Do you know? I'm not saying that I'm doing a perfect review, but yeah, we have less rabbit holes that we go down, and that's capitalism. That's the market policing itself too. It's not my fault if I do a Tower 28 video and no one cares. It's means I'm not going to do as many Tower 28 videos. I shouldn't have picked on them, but you know what I mean? Focus on using the products you have, and they're probably still in production. Yeah, but that doesn't work for us as creators, because
no, it doesn't. Nobody
watches those.
Especially because we're review channels. We've basically started as review channels. Mm-hmm. And when we do a playing with makeup I love type video, they just don't do well. They just sink. And there's that side of it as well. So we have to, we have to try and earn something from YouTube. Not that it's a big income, but we need to try and earn something. And that's the only way, through views, unfortunately.
And I mean, I think the nice thing on YouTube is that we do have an audience that trusts in us. And so therefore we're held accountable. If I'm telling you guys to buy stuff, buy it, and it's all horrible, you're going to stop watching my channel. So it is incumbent upon the creator to ensure our own survival by being honest and by being there for our audience. And you guys will not be there for us if you can't trust us. So there is, and YouTube is the only place where we have that relationship with our audience. TikTok, it's not there.
What? I'm live, yeah.
You missed my daughter earlier making her own lunch and getting out potato chips that probably had less in the bag. So yeah, I mean, I think, and as we wind down here, you guys, I think the end thing is we all are in this together, and we have to be kind to one another while being critical. Because that's what Hannah and I are doing. We're being critical. If we don't like it, we're going to tell you. And we hope that you trust us and hope that we're honest. And we want our audience to enjoy our videos and enjoy the makeup while also being able to be honest and critical as well. I think it's just about kindness, I guess, Hannah. Is that the end result?
Yeah, kindness for us and kindness for all of our viewers, who should never feel they can't leave a comment. They should never be ashamed that they've bought something. If you want to reply saying, I bought more colors than you did, then I'll celebrate that with you and let everyone else celebrate it with you. And if you buy one color all year round, celebrate that too. Celebrate whatever makes anybody happy. And just for people I would just love it. I mean, across the board, whether it's football groups, reading groups, art groups, if everything could be more positive. How many, all the top posts in every single group these days, they're always negative. Why have we got to talk about the most rubbish book that was out by this author this year instead of let's talk about the best one, shall we? Because the world is depressing enough, and I don't want my job to ever get like that. And I feel like it's getting harder to fight that off a bit these days. So I think that's why we wanted to raise it, that we understand how it makes you feel, and I'm sure you all understand how it makes us feel. And we're certainly not saying this because of any of you watching, because we know that you're great and we have incredible support from all of you, honestly. We wouldn't do this
Yeah.
without you. Really wouldn't.
And and that is that relationship that we have with our audience is so important to us as well. So maybe it is a bad apple spoils the whole bunch. You know, someone comes in and it just injects poison. It's really quite sad. You know what I mean?
It
So,
is. It really is. It's depressing. Like I always use this example. I set up a Facebook group running a Spurs group because I'm a Tottenham fan. It hit 20,000 and then it hit 25,000 and then I left it. I created it and I left it. And I created a new one called The Happy Place. There are less than 500 people in that group. It's never grown because if you're negative, you're not allowed in. And that's why it's never grown. But you know
isn't
what? That makes
that crazy? And if we could review the growth charts of makeup channels, those that are doing a lot of the I don't buy this, I hate this, they're probably growing faster than like Hannah
they
and
are.
I are even growing. And that's
They
a
get the
shame.
views. And if they get the instant views, then YouTube boosts it more, and they don't just boost it once; they'll reboost it and they'll reboost it. Whereas we put out a standard review and they'll just disappear again because it's not controversial, and that is the problem. Negativity, controversy sells, and we're just
Maybe on April Fool's Day I'll do one of those videos. Wouldn't that be funny? I hate this. I buy nothing. Watch my channel. I'm gonna make fun
don't
of
buy
everything.
this and put like 100 products you should never buy. We should do that. We should come up with 100. Maybe there will
And
be
then
makeup.
we'd probably soar, and then they'd find out it was a parody, and they'd be so upset they'd all unsubscribe. We
Should do
thought
an
you were negative and horrible. Darn you, faking
yeah.
that. It's kind of funny. All right. Well, we love you guys. We appreciate our audience being here. And I am sorry for my quick exit. I am going to a doctor's appointment with my daughter, who is 22 and should go on her own, but it's a new doctor, so mommy is still coming. That's where I'm off to. Hannah, thank you for hosting us, and Hannah, thank you for your friendship
Oh,
because
aren't you?
I love you. Hannah's my friend and my coworker, so I love
We
you,
wouldn't
and I
survive without each other, would we?
we do, we do. So thank you to all of you guys for being here and for being honest, and tell us feedback if you liked it and other topics that you'd like for Hannah and I to discuss too, because we will take that on board and do more lives together.
Yeah, definitely. We need to start. This is something we need more time for. Less makeup reviews, more chats.
More chats, but we also want to hear what you guys want us to talk about, and if there's a specific side road off of this topic too, you can tell us that too, and then we'll take it on board and we'll schedule more of these.
Yeah, definitely. So let us know. We'll be in the comment section, so we'll see you there.
We will. Bye, everybody. Bye, Hannah.
Bye. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.